My honorable lords, trophy hunting is not a necessary evil for conservation and development. Trophy hunting is an evil practice done by bloodthirsty rich individuals. My name is Boniface Olempario. I'm a Maasai senior elder and a safari guide. I support this ban on trophy hunting because it doesn't support communities, it harms them, and it harms the wildlife.
If it was true that hunting contributed to conservation, why then over the past 40 years has there been a 70% decline in wildlife species? Whereas in Botswana, when we got rid of hunting and introduced photographic tourism, we saw an increase in the populations of our wildlife. So saying hunting contributes to conservation is like saying that a dictatorship promotes democracy or robbing banks is saving money. It's just ridiculous.
Good governance is about the allocation of resources in a way that ultimately benefits citizens. Because trophy hunting targets prime males, especially if you look at elephants and big cats, the lack of governance means that you destroy the ability of those populations to regenerate themselves. And that essentially destroys the ecosystem, which destroys the country's ability to earn ecotourism revenue.
If you go and kill a lion, for example, it's just a source of revenue for the hunt tour operator or the person who leads the hunt. They get paid and then that's it, gone. So I don't really see the argument that hunting benefits conservation or help local communities.
The amount that is generated from trophy hunting, it's a pittance. It's not something that can really fund a robust project of conservation.
This is what I heard from most of the Maasai. It reduces the number of animals. It takes out the strongest out of the gene pool. The hunting concessions are literally running out of game to kill. So they have to displace people who are living harmoniously with wildlife so that they can go and kill those animals as well.
When you see the extent to which animals are in decline, eventually these hunters, once they have rid us of our wildlife, those communities will have nothing for hunting, nothing for wildlife photographic tourism, nothing at all.
The Maasai people perceive those people from the Western countries coming to their places and killing wildlife negatively because they normally believe that wildlife is their heritage. They used to coexist with them.
So when someone comes and kills them, we feel like they are killing our animals, our own. So we don't view it as a good thing. When the trophy hunting started, the people killed these animals to sell their ivory. So it was not there before. So it is a colonial thing. It came during the colonial time.
Trophy hunting in Tanzania has negative impacts to the wildlife species that are living there because they will reduce in number. In Kenya, there is no trophy hunting. So when they migrate to Tanzania, there are high chances that the same animals that are going to come back will not be the same number that went there. And so there will be no balance in the ecosystem.
Trophy hunting have an effect, a very negative effect to the communities. One, we lose our animals. Two, nothing that is generated from these animals or these trophies comes to the community, it ends up with the one who sells these trophies. We should not kill our animals in order to conserve them.
We believe trophy hunting is very cruel, it's very archaic, it causes distress to animals, especially elephants. They live as families. So if you take down, say, the matriarch or the patriarch of that family, the remaining elephants will be distressed for a very long period of time. And the other challenge is that when you take down an elephant from its head, you have triggered a conflict between the surviving members of that family and the neighboring community. We are experiencing a rise in human-wildlife conflict.
There is an alternative. You don't have to kill them. There is photographic tourism, which happens in my country, Kenya, where hunting was banned in 1977. The revenue that is coming in from photographic tourism is more than you will get by killing these animals.
My view is that for as long as trophy hunting exists, it literally gets in the way of and crowds out alternative options. And it also sets up a false dichotomy. It says, well, unless you have trophy hunting, then this land is going to be turned over to destructive agriculture. But adventure tourism, for instance, as part of an economic model, that could work really well. But the ethics associated with any kind of tourism are incompatible with trophy hunting taking place in the same concession. But if you have a combination of research and adventure tourism, for instance, then you can really start to economically justify the preservation of those remote areas.
Community development is so much better in places where there is no hunting. And if those who don't believe us or believe me, book a safari, go to the Masai Mara and visit places or community projects which are supported by the companies that do photographic tourism. See for yourself how the year-round income from photographic tourism has generated employment and created some of the places where I worked. Honorable Lords, my message to you is please, please support the bill.
We know what is best for us on this continent. I can say that for over 20 years, it is proven in our country, in Botswana, that photographic tourism contributes much more to conservation of the species and even for revenues that accrue to the country and the benefits for the communities.
The UK is taking a sovereign decision that is essentially anti-colonial, because it's saying, look, we can't perpetuate this pattern of extraction from the former colonies and repatriating local raw material back to our country. That is a sovereign decision, and it's essentially an ethical decision. Of course, there are considerations to be made as to the impact of those decisions on former colonies or on African countries, but essentially the UK is making a decision about its own ethics.
Ethical conservation basically is a way in which people use non-consumptive methods to conserve wildlife species. We have selling of things like photography, selling of cultural activities and cultural materials can be used to fund wildlife conservation.
People should come, visit our country, see the beauty of wildlife, and take pictures. That wildlife can be of more benefit and of long-term benefit if they conserve it more than if they continue trophy hunting, which is going to deplete these animals.